Hi everyone, welcome to the day 3 of a 5-day series on how to build organization culture. And today I am going to talk about how to build the culture of training. It starts from the day when you start hiring people for your process or an organization. When you start hiring, once the people are hired, you would put them into a training for your process. And once they are trained on the process, they will put into the production flow to perform their daily duties. When they're performing their daily duties, you'll be certainly assessing their performance. And when you're assessing their performance, you would have some observations where these people are need to improve on or they're doing better. So going back to my yesterday's topic, you would share your feedback with them. Now, once you are sharing your observations, once you are sharing that they need to improve on, they should start, stop, and continue, that is where you would also be able to assess, is there a training need that this individual has? And if they have some training need at this point in time, you would go back to your training team and ask these people to be trained again. That is from a perspective of contribution towards organization goals. That is an expectation from this person you've hired. That's one way of building a culture of training. Now there are two more important points that I bring to this video. Is one is prepare a competency matrix. When I say competency matrix, I mean list down all the desired skills and essential skills that you are expecting a person to perform for a particular process and plot it for all the individuals in the process. You'll be able to easily identify who needs which sort of training. So it is easy for you to identify as a group as well. The second, let's take an example. Let's say I was an individual you've hired and I was hired for the process of account reconciliations. And I was put into training, I have performed well in training and now on the production floor. Now when you've started assessing my performance, I was 8 on 10 in terms of my performance. So that's where you found that there is a lag or there is an opportunity for me to work on where I can improve to be a 10 on 10. So you've worked on my process training as well and you've asked this trainer to train me on this particular process. Going back to contribution towards organizational goals. So once I'm trained on this, the rest two part of it, which makes me 10 on 10 now, I am 100% trained on the process. But what happens to my personal goals? What happens to me as an individual who has a desire to be somebody else? When it's somebody else, maybe my desire was to become a data analyst. And because I'm spending 9 or 10 hours at work, plus say 2 or 3 hours of my transit time from my home to office, I'm spending half of my productive hours here. And I'm not able to contribute or maybe learn something to be a data analyst. That is where, as an employer, you have an opportunity to work on my personal goals as well. You can put me into a training where I can learn how to analyze data. It may not relate to the work that I'm supposed to be doing when I'm hired. So, because I'm hired for account reconciliations, my data analytics skills may not be put to use. That depends upon what my desires are. So it may or may not. But if it does, I think it adds to the advantage for the process. If it does not, you still have an opportunity to connect with me and say, hey, you know what, we care about your personal goals also, and we realize that you have some spare time. So why don't you sit with somebody where you learn how to analyze data. And that also gives an opportunity for you to connect with the people who are in the data analytics team. So let's say somebody who's been into the process for about 5-6 years in data analytics team. You put me as a buddy or a mentee with this person and say, you know what, from now onwards, it's your responsibility to train the individual as well. Obviously looking at the aspects of somebody else's time and my time and so on and so forth. So these are factors that can be certainly considered. But what is this whole process going to do is that the person in a data analytics team who's been there for more than say 2 years or 3 years or whatever the time is. So when you consider this person as a tenured individual, he or she would feel valued that you have come proactively to give this person an opportunity to become a trainer. And that is where they would pay more emphasis on training me as an individual. That will give them an opportunity to understand that you care about their work. You know and you notice the small things that they're doing or maybe their projects that they're doing. So in essence, what I'm trying to tell you here is this person in the data analytics team would feel valued, and that is what matters for an employee in an organization. That opens an opportunity for this person to become a trainer or to be a mentor for that matter. These are opportunities that I think you can certainly explore in an organization where you want to build a culture of training. These are a few tips that I thought I should share with you in this video, which is the third day video. But as we all know, training is a very wide topic and we can discuss about it for hours, for days. I would be happy to connect with you if you have some suggestions or comments on this video. We can have a good discussion on how to build a culture of training in an organization. Thank you so much for taking out time today, and thank you for watching this video.